Hi, I'm State Senator Anthony Sykes. It's February 25th, 2010, and it's time for this week's Sykes Update. Very busy week on the floor this week. Many bills coming through, many controversial, some routine, and I'm happy to say that I got my medical examiner's bill, which will hopefully help address the situation that we're having there to restore that office's integrity so it can continue to serve the people of Oklahoma.
Mr. Floor Leader.
Mr. President, would you please recognize Senator Sykes for the explanation of Senate Bill 1337.
Senator Sykes, you're recognized to explain the provisions of Senate Bill 1337.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Leader. Remember, Senate Bill 1337 is the vehicle in which we're going to try to address the problems at the medical examiner's office. I know you've all seen the headlines and know that we've been working on this in the interim. It moves it to the proximity of the University of Central Oklahoma Forensic Science Institute. There are no plans, despite what you might have heard in the media, to affiliate it with law enforcement. Law enforcement has been one of the biggest requesters that not be done, so that it remains independent. There are many issues over there as we are looking at, but that is the intent of the bill. Title is off. Mr. President, I yield for questions.
That concludes the explanation of the bill. Will there be questions? Will there be questions? See no questions. Senator Sykes moves the bill be advanced. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, nays. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the bill to be advanced. Members, the bill is now for you on third reading and final passage. Will there be debate? Will there be debate? Seeing none, the vote will now occur. If you are in favor of the measure, vote aye. Opposed, the measure, vote nay. The clerk will open the roll. Those wishing to vote or change their vote, the chair is preparing to close. Declare the vote. Senate Bill 1337 receiving 44 aye and 0 nay votes. I declare the bill to have passed.
The Oklahoma Senate has approved a bill that would mandate a new facility for the embattled state medical examiner. The measure would move the office from its current location to new facilities near the campus of the University of Central Oklahoma and its forensic school. Senate President Pro Tem Glenn Coffey sees this as a smart move.
There just are not a lot of good options in staying where they're at. The building they're at is too small. It's antiquated. The cost that it would take to get that up to par so that they reacquire their accreditation and start moving forward, I think it just doesn't make sense. We could be much more efficient with our dollars starting over.
And also got my gang bill, which last session was Senate Bill 826, did make it out through the Senate, and it's over to the House now. Same provisions as last year, and we've got the physical impact down, and I think this time it's going to go through and provide some protection to our citizens from gang members.
Mr. Floor Leader.
Mr. President, would you please recognize Senator Sykes for the explanation of Senate Bill 2018.
Senator Sykes, you're recognized now to explain the provisions of Senate Bill 2018.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Leader. Members, you've seen Senate Bill 2018 before. It is the comprehensive gang bill that came out of the Gang Task Force. First section of Senator Ellis's language had aggravated assault and battery on a police officer to the 85% list. It also increases penalty for gang recruitment, adds a separate and distinct punishment, additional punishment for certain crimes committed while a gang member. And the third thing it does is it gives school districts immunity, should they choose in good faith to report gang activity within their school. We've passed this before. It hadn't made it through the House, but I think it will this time, and I yield for questions, Mr. President.
That concludes the explanation of the bill. Will there be questions? Will there be questions? Seeing no questions, Senator Sykes. Oh, Senator Crutchfield, you're recognized for a question. Didn't see you put your hand up. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've got a good optometrist that I could, anyway. Senator Sykes, just one question. It's one that Senator Johnson and I both asked at different times, but by putting this on the 85% list, has any thought been given to this many more times this penalty for 85% versus rather is this amount, and we need to make sure that the budget for DLC is increased by this amount and then progress it per year so that we don't end up constantly making the black hole of DLC bigger for lack of funding.
Thank you for your question, Senator Crutchfield. I wish I had it right here on me, but I'll provide it to your office, the analysis that we did in that along those very lines. The first year starts around, and I believe it's around $1,600, and then should these continue to grow and increase, we're looking at a $75,000 a year impact at year 15 or 20 or something like that. So I know it does have a physical impact, but I think it's, when you consider we're talking about aggravated assault and battery on a police officer, which is different than just assault and battery on a police officer. We're talking broken bones, lacerations, things like that. There is a physical impact, but I think it's worth it to send that message that we want to protect our officers in Oklahoma. Thank you for your question.
Further questions on the bill? Further questions? Seeing none, Senator Sykes moves the bill be advanced. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, nays. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the bill to be advanced. Members, the bill is now for you on third reading and final passes. Will there be debate? Will there be debate? Seeing none, the vote will now occur. If you're in favor of the measure, vote aye. Opposed, the measure, vote nay. Clerk will open the roll. Declare the vote. Senate Bill 2018 receiving 41 aye votes and 4 nay votes. I declare the measure to have passed. Mr. Floor Leader.
Mr. President, would you please recognize?
Very controversial measures this week that we heard on the floor. Something that you've heard during the interim is about the nationalized health care. We passed measures yesterday while I was presiding about health care to give Oklahomans the right to opt out of Obamacare or any other kind of forced national health care, which has been much of the national debate. We're taking this as a states' right issue, as a personal rights issue, that you shouldn't be forced to into a plan created in Washington, D.C. that most of Oklahomans are not going to be agreeable to. So yesterday I kind of had to break up a small skirmish here on the floor while I was in the chair, but that's the role of the presiding officers, and I was unfortunate sometimes it comes with that, but did my duty in doing that. So that was a very controversial subject, and we're looking at other ways to protect our citizens' right to choose their own health care. Tonight I'm heading to Duncan for the Duncan Area Economic Development Foundation banquet. DADEF is a very integral part of Stevens County development, and always enjoy supporting their initiatives. And also this week here at the Capitol we had the luxury of having, speaking of healthcare earlier, some of our nursing students and our physical therapy students up here to tell us what they're learning and what they're planning on doing and getting out there and working in the healthcare field. So with that, the next 2 weeks will be very intense on the floor. I've got a number of my measures, my drug testing for welfare benefits measure, my texting while driving, and also my administrative rules provision, which are pending on the floor, and going to be bringing those up in the next 2 weeks. So tune back in the future for future Sykes updates about how things are going here at the Capitol. And as always, feel free to contact me if I can help you with any situation. Thank you.